there's essentially kind of a value proposition equation, like what's the aspirational outcome you're going to give someone divided by time it's going to take them to get there, time, effort, money. And so people don't usually look at that denominator. So it's like, you're going to look amazing. Every brand says that you're going to look great. Nike, you're going to be a champion. You're going to feel good. But what we wanted to do is, that's kind of implied. It's a skincare company. Like, dude, you're going to look great, whatever. We can say that. Everyone else is. Within the 30-second skincare part tells you it's going to be easy, it's going to be fast, it's going to be no BS. So like, oh, I'm going to look good and it's only going to take me 30 seconds. Like, okay, I can try that.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Jake Rosenberg, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Jake Rosenberg. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join us in the Facebook community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, let's get social. Follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I appreciate it more than you know. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. Additionally, Friends in Beauty is now on Patreon. So for as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends in Beauty podcast. And there are also several tiers available that unlock Patreon exclusive content just for you, like behind the scene content of the Friends in Beauty podcast, bonus interview clips, a monthly Ask Me Anything, discounts, and so much more. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll leave the link down below in the show description for that as well. Also, if you'd like to stay connected even further, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe. They are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different resources and tips throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, join us over there. And last but not least, listen up. The most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, on this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Jake Rosenberg, the founder of Krete, to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. After graduating from the University of Pennsylvania with degrees in economics and math, Jake has been a successful serial entrepreneur with ventures spanning software, investments, and fashion. Jake suffered a ski accident in 2019, leaving him with a scar on his face. At the time, he felt that there wasn't a solution for him because the products found were either impractical, marketed to women, or didn't address his needs. From there, he learned every aspect of an e-commerce skincare business, product development, supply chain management, and digital marketing to build a brand with performance at the core and with a simplistic design that will appeal to the modern man. Driven by the principle that everything they make should take less than 30 seconds to use, Krete quickly became profitable with only its flagship hydrating facial serum. It now continues to innovate for its community, launching new products and integrating novel technologies into its male customer experience. I had such a wonderful time talking to Jake. He is the first skincare brand catered to men that I've had on the show, so I was really excited to meet him and learn all about Krete. With all of his experience in different sectors of business, he was able to provide some amazing insight on what it really takes to successfully operate a brand. In this interview, Jake shares the story behind what inspired him to create Krete, the process of creating powerful messaging and marketing for the brand, what men really want from their skincare routines, the importance of supply chain management, the opportunities that are available within men's skincare, tips for successful product development, if he would ever use AI to market Krete, what's next for the brand, and so much more. If you're tired of your man dipping into your skincare products, or if you're a man looking for a 30-second skincare routine that's actually effective, then you'll definitely want to check out Krete. Let's go ahead and jump into this chat with Jake, and if you prefer to watch the interview, which I totally recommend, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Jake.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. As I was just telling you, you're the first men's skincare brand that I've had on the show. So I'm really excited and really intrigued about your business, and I'm so excited to jump into it.
Great. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so before we get started, we're going to start off with some icebreakers to get us warmed up. And so the Friends in Beauty audience can get to know you a little bit outside of what you do for your brand. So First one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
I used to do Taekwondo and I'm a black belt there. I never read fiction ever. Never, even in high school, I would do Spark Notes and that stuff. I like to cook.
Okay. I feel you on the fiction thing. If it's fiction, is more so, well, that's not really fiction. It's more like self-help type of things.
I think that's real though. That's I love stories. I just would rather them be real and I can learn something. I like TV and movies. That's how I get my fiction. I don't want to, reading seems like work to me. So to read without a purpose, it never was my favorite thing.
Yeah, I feel you on that for sure. If you had to delete all but 3 apps on your phone, which ones would you keep?
Well, I need Shopify. So that kind of has to stay there. I need the Messenger app, right? The texting one, that's got to stay. I think I can drive around LA. I know where I am, so I don't need Google or Uber. Okay. Some internet browser. Let's go with the browser, something Chrome, because then I can do anything.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, because I'm always kind of disappointed when somebody's like, oh, you got to download this app. I'm like, oh my God, another app.
Yeah, those aren't fun apps. If I'm talking about more fun apps, I like Facetune, because you can mess with people and you edit it a little bit, you send it back. Oh, you look great in this picture. And they're like, I look weird here. And you made their eyes a little bigger and they don't know. It's funny.
Yeah. So I have these things called pod decks. My boxes are a little bit beat up, but I have a what the heck and a would you rather with random questions in it. Which one do you want?
Would you rather?
Would you rather? He's going for it today. Most people always
is that the spicier one?
It's a little spicy sometimes.
Okay.
Oh, I like this one. I think I did this one before, but I like it. It says, would you rather wear a monitor that beeps when you're lying or beeps when you're attracted to someone?
What is a lie? Because I negotiate a lot of contracts and things, and you massage it. And, oh yeah, we need it done by next week. Really, when you just want it done. So I'd have to say the attractive thing, because I don't see a real problem with that. The other one's I don't know, when it would beep by accident.
Yeah, I think that's a better choice, especially when you put it in that context. What if you're in a business meeting? You don't need it to be beeping while you're in the meeting.
Yeah, it's I'm not lying left and right, but I don't know. I tell people I need stuff soon, and we don't need it right now. It's just we want something sooner. So
right. Okay, I like that. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
I make plans that work out pretty well.
Okay.
If you said, oh, let's go on this trip, give me 2 hours and I'll make the itinerary, and it'll probably be pretty good. Something like that.
All right. We all need one of you as a friend.
Yeah.
What's your favorite item that you bought this year?
There's one thing. It was given to me. I didn't buy it, and they actually sold it. This little rubber massage block thing that I lay on, and Neck and back problems disappear. It's like you can't buy it. I don't know where it came from. It's like magic thing.
Dang,
It's a little piece of rubber and it's perfect. I don't know.
dang. It has
That's
to be
it's
on
that thing.
Amazon at least.
I've checked. There's like competitors, but I've ordered them. They're not the same because I've tried to give it out as gifts. But it's this thing. I'm working at a computer too much, so it's always like posture and stiff back and everything. So that's
Mm.
a lifesaver.
Okay, okay. And the last one, if you weren't the CEO and founder of Crete, what else could you see yourself doing?
Oh, I've done a couple of other things. I had a shoe company. I had a software company and an investment fund. So I don't know what's next. If that was, I could see myself just working with startups. I love it. I love bringing things from 0 to 1.
Uh-huh.
I'm not really that interested once companies get more than like 50, 60 people. I mean, it depends. I haven't been there yet. It just doesn't seem as appealing. Things get a little more corporate. You start needing, middle managers, and you get a little bit further from the customer experience. And I
Yeah.
like to build things that work for people. And so if I'm managing a big company, it's like my job would be away from that. So anything that's creative that lets me build stuff that people get to use.
Okay, I like that a lot. So you had a shoe company, a software company, and an investment fund.
Yes. I'm
Those are all
32.
totally different
I know
things.
they have almost nothing to do with each other. The thing is though, business at the end of the day, there's certain principles you understand. And so 75 to 80% of these, you make the same kinds of decisions. You hire not the same people, but the same kinds of people.
Okay.
Some people working for me from the other companies are working with me now in different capacities, but the person who's building our website now was at the software company.
Mhm.
So there's crossover, but it just is, they taught me a lot about general business and we build relationships. But yeah, skincare has very little to do with fashion other than their physical products that you have to ship to people.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like for instance, I learned about fulfillment, I learned about packaging from the shoe company. And so then when I started the skincare company, I needed to figure it out on a smaller scale, but
Yeah.
physically smaller, but it was a lot of the same principles.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. So all of those companies are now, do you still operate them or are you fully
Some
focused
I
on?
sold. The fund we stopped doing because we did well, and so we closed it after we did well because it was investing in like crypto and some other stuff, and we were all like losing our hair. It was insane. But this was back in 2016, 17, 18. So we're like, all right, we made everybody a bunch of money here. Here's take it, and we're done with this for now. It's just you're also not building anything. I didn't really enjoy that I was not making stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, the software company, we have someone running it, and the shoe company I sold,
Okay. All
which
right.
which is why I started Krete because I had time.
I know that's right. So what was your first entrepreneurial endeavor? Because you seem like a serial entrepreneur.
It's probably when I was well, my mom likes to tell a story actually of when I was younger. There were like it was in Long Island and there was this bagel sale. It was like $1 a bagel, cream cheese or butter or whatever. And so a lot of the kids had parents that would just like forget to give them like $2 or whatever. So I would bring extra and I would like lend it to them and then they'd have to give me like an extra dollar. And so when I was like 5 or 6 years old, 7 years, 10, whatever the age was, it was like lower school. So probably 7 or 8. Yeah, I started lending people money.
With interest.
Yeah, but the interest rates now, looking back, is like I'd lend someone $2 and they'd have to give me three within like 2 days. So it's like that's a 50% interest rate,
You
and
were
you have two
tough.
days to pay me back. Yeah, I remember one kid just didn't ever pay me back, and he lied and told me he did when he didn't, and so I didn't lend him money anymore. And it was like, oh, that's credit. I understand. I accidentally invented that. So I also tutored a lot in high school for
Mhm.
for cash, which is great. I would have like a summer internship that was unpaid, and then at like 6 p.m. I'd leave that, tutor until 11 p.m. and you know, I always liked working. It was never a problem.
Mhm.
So
About to
yeah,
say you
those
seem like
things.
you got a little
Yeah.
bit of hustle in you.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about stages. You hustle when you're 16, so you have money enough when you're in college, do what you want, and you do it in college. You always need to be kind of hustling so that the next stage of your life is taken care of. It's not for today. Like I'm giving up a lot of time, energy, money today with Crete so that the next whatever years of my life can be better.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that
So
yeah.
yeah, what led you to create Crete?
I had a ski accident in 2017. And so I have a scar on my nose, and you can't really see it because I use really good skincare products, I have 3 different Crete products on right now.
Okay.
So essentially, I was like a bar of soap washing your face, like normal dude. I didn't know anything about skincare. Like I used, moisturizer here and there if I had dry skin. I used sunscreen if I was going to the beach, but I didn't know anything. I never heard of serums, hyaluronic acid, toners, like none of this. So when I had my ski accident, it left a pretty big like cut on my nose. And
Wow.
so I had to learn about scar reduction treatments, hyaluronic acid, microneedling,
Mm.
concealer. And so, yeah, I for a year or two was like struggling to find good products. I'd go to Sephora and I'd be like, there is no way I'm going to find what I need here. There's probably 10 miracle products in this store
Yeah.
that would change the way I look, feel. I'd be confident. I wouldn't get asked every 5 seconds what happened and have to relive a trauma thing. But yeah, it was like, how am I supposed to find that? I walk in, they ask you, like, do you want to beautify or contour
Mm.
or brighten? I'm like, I don't know what that means, to be honest. Like, and then even when I came in, I was like, I want NARS, creamy concealer, and okay, what tone? It was just, do you want their foundation? Does it matte finish, sheer finish? I'm like, I don't know.
It's too
So
much.
I realized after doing 6 months to a year of like figuring out what worked for me, because I had to. I had a scar on my nose. You can't hide your nose. You
Mm-hmm.
can hide this maybe up here with bangs, something, but
Right.
like you can't hide this. So I had to figure it out. And so when I sold the shoe company the next day, I was like, I'm going to look into the business of skincare because honestly, there's no brands that speak to men.
Mm-hmm.
And the few that do, they try to talk to guys like, hey, embrace your feminine side and like use all this makeup. And it's like, I want to do the opposite. I want to say, hey guys, like there's nothing feminine about this.
Yeah.
Like if you have a pimple, put concealer on it, you just will look better. If you have dry skin, put hyaluronic acid serum on it. Like, we're not doing concealer's the only makeup we're doing. And that's because I think it's a functional product. It worked great for me. And
Uh-huh.
so, we call it tagline is 30-second skincare. We're like anything you need in and out 30 seconds, take that to learn about something, to use something. It's so easy. You'll actually do it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's always something that unfortunately is some kind of accident or trauma sometimes that sparks these
Yeah.
amazing brands.
Necessity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
so
mean,
unfortunate.
yeah, but it's a learning experience, and it really made me empathize with people who have acne scars and other kinds of things because, like, it's unavoidable. Like, if you have something, if you have something on your arm, you can cover it. You can't cover stuff on your face.
Mm-hmm.
So, trying to heal it, trying to fix it, it made me feel bad when I
Right.
had this. So it's like, if I could just put on concealer and it disappears, that's a miracle. So, we kind of view ourselves as health and wellness, like at least like mental health, because it's really important that people just feel good when they walk out their door. And,
Mm-hmm.
having healthier, better looking skin, it's just, we are all, if we could make everyone not judge each other, that'd be amazing, but everyone does. So, you got to play the game. There's no
Right.
point in not looking your best.
Yeah. How long did it take for your scar to heal or get to a
Ooh.
point where you were like comfortable with it?
So I had to stay out of the sun for a year and a half.
Well,
Well, he said 9 months to a year because scarring when it gets sun, it turns a different color. So this would have gotten lighter and I would have had a big, here, if I get close, you might be able to see a little bit of it there and here. It has concealer on it, so you can't really see it. So, our concealer
okay.
is very good. But so I had to wear these sunglasses with like this like nose protector on. I have it over there. I'll go get it at the end. But it's called a nose cone. It's a mountaineering thing. So I had to wear that every time I went outside for a year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
I was doing hyaluronic acid, microneedling, see like, all these crazy processes, lasering.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't have to wear concealer and people will like maybe notice it, but they won't ask me about it because
Right.
it's pretty small. Now with concealer, people can't even tell. But
Right.
it's like it went from a bad accident to you can't even see it because of hyaluronic acid and concealer. Like, okay, well, guess what we sell? Those are our first products, hyaluronic acid and concealer. It's not an accident. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, makes
Makes
sense.
makes sense totally. So you look pretty young to me. So like, how did this play with your confidence? Having to walk
How
out
old
the
do you
house
think
with
I am? You have to
you,
take a guess.
you look about 20, no older than 26.
Okay, well, I'm 32.
No, that's
So,
right. 30 club. You look so
yes,
young.
I
It's
get
the
that a
hyaluronic
lot. And
acid.
I will say, first of all, it is that because, it's been 5 years of like using hyaluronic acid twice a day. it really works. Like I wouldn't be selling it if it didn't work. In fact, I actually learned chemistry and formulated our first two products myself. So I knew that, like, I know they work. But yeah, looking younger was not the greatest in high school because, you know, when you're 16 and you look 13, it's like not great. College is okay. Now it's great. It's like, oh, you run a skincare company. It must be your stuff. It's like,
Right.
sure, let's go with that.
I love
But
that.
yeah, I'm 32. I don't think I could have done as much as I have done if I was 26.
Hmm.
I had a couple extra years to for the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So did it play with your confidence a little bit, like your dating life, going out with
It
that?
it I was in a relationship, but and I
Mhm.
actually it's kind of funny. I said to the person that was like the like emergency room surgeon, I was like, well, I get to find out if she likes me for me. And they started laughing, and I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't make this person currently like sewing my face up laugh. So I'm gonna stop talking. But yeah, it was tough because it was just so noticeable. Like it was a pretty bad, like
Mhm.
full wide scar. And it wasn't even that it made me like uglier. This it was just everyone asked me every time I saw them, oh my God, what happened? And I had to tell them the story. And it was like it was too close to it. Now it's like whatever, 7 years
Yeah.
ago. Actually, almost 8 years ago. No, wait, what was it? It's six, almost 7 years ago.
Okay.
So now it's fine. But like at the time it was pretty rough. My confidence doesn't always come from my looks though, but it was just this was kind of a reliving trauma situation. Once I got a little away from the accident, it did suck because again, I had to wear that thing. Now that thing, I'm gonna go get it. Just give me one
Yeah,
second.
I'm about to
You're gonna you're
say.
gonna you're gonna understand what I'm saying in
Oh
like
my God. Because I have an idea of what it is from like
no, it's
movies.
worse. It's worse than you think. Okay. This.
Oh, no, 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 no.
So imagine going out for a year and a half, like you're in the sun, you wear this. I'm in Southern California too. It's like it's sunny 360 days a year and like that really powerful sun. So yeah. So
They probably thought you got a nose
that
job or something.
that gets a lot of looks because it was, you know, it was time before. Now everyone's used to masks and covering faces and stuff, but at that time, 2017, like nobody was. So people would look like, what the hell? Why are you covering your face? I even went to like a festival wearing that, and people were like very weirded out. So that was the hard part. It wasn't even the scar, it was having to wear that thing.
Yeah, they
It
probably
sucked.
either
It was
thought you got a
terrible.
nose job or that you didn't have a nose up under the thing.
Or it made people look at me like I was hiding something. Like that was how my read on how people are doing it. They were like it was just off-put looks, and I was like, I'm just trying to have fun. Like I'm
Right.
at a pool party thing, and like everyone's giving me looks. Um, yeah, that was ironically, it wasn't the actual scar. It was what I had to do to make sure that it didn't get
Yeah.
worse. But look, I was a great patient. I stayed out of the sun. I wore that thing, and now it's better. And the rest of my life, it's better. So you
Awesome.
know, I took it pretty seriously.
Awesome. Awesome. How long did it take for you to launch the brand from the time that you had the idea of doing men's skincare to actually like launching?
It was pretty quick because I think it was like March of 2019 where I was like, you know, I was selling this shoe company and I was like, this idea keeps kind of eating away at me. Like, I think it's a good idea. And so first, you know, before I was a company, I reached out to concealer manufacturers and I Googled unit economics of this business and I Googled fulfillment and regulation. So, I mean, that wasn't like starting the company, that was doing research on if I should. But
Yeah.
I think March, I was like determined to figure it out. And by May, I had done my LLC and I was fully into it.
Okay. Okay. So for you, why was it important for a serum as far as men's skincare goes? Are
So
serums
I
something that's like a thing?
So I wanted to start the company based off the concealer because that was the real thing. And a couple of months in, I realized I don't, you know, it's going to take a year and a half to develop a good concealer. So I started working with other companies and I was like, well, I want to sell something in the meantime. And I was talking to a couple of estheticians, and one of them mentioned that she sold like an oil serum, which was just oils in a bottle. And I was like, okay, how much is she selling this for? Like $5? She was like 50, $60. I was like, what? And I was like, she's like, yeah, my patients love it. And I looked up the ingredients and they were like per bottle, like 40 cents. to fill out the bottle. And I was like, what is this?
Wow.
And so I'd use hyaluronic acid. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sell some oils. Let me look at actually, our serum is much more expensive than 40 cents in a bottle, but we use apple stem cell extract from Switzerland, specific molecular weights of hyaluronic acid. And so I looked and I thought, okay, if we're going to do this, I need one product per category or per like skin issue, because we want to keep it simple. It's not supposed to be like exfoliate, wash your face, toner, serum, second serum, moisturizer,
Right.
SPF. Like, I'm not trying to do that. That's like, no guys want to do that. So I was like, okay, we'll make a face wash, which we're working on. We'll have some sort of moisturizer. And I looked around and the best ones I found were all hyaluronic acid serums. And
Mm.
so I ordered like 30, 40 products, tested them. And I said, you know what, if we make a serum good enough with a thick enough kind of like when you put ours on, you feel it tightening and you feel this like slight layer. It's really nice.
Uh-huh.
You don't need a moisturizer. Is it better if you also use one? Yeah, maybe 10 to 20% better, but like our serum does 80% of the job in one product.
Okay.
So I kind of made it do both. And then I thought, you know what, why call it a moisturizer? I'll call it a serum and it sounds sexier. And, maybe we can charge 10 bucks more. And now we're here.
I love that. What kind of challenges did you face when you were launching the brand or prior to launching?
Well, launching the brand, the messaging was really important.
Mm.
And that was hard. And so we finally arrived at 30-second skincare after a lot of testing and ideas, but there's essentially kind of a value proposition equation. Like, what's the aspirational outcome you're going to give someone divided by time it's going to take them to get there, time, effort, money. And so people don't usually look at that denominator. So it's like, you're going to look amazing. Every brand says that you're going to look great. Nike, you're going to be a champion. You're going to feel good. But what we wanted to do is, that's kind of implied. It's a skincare company. Like, dude, you're going to look great, whatever. We can say that. Everyone else is. But then the 30-second skincare part tells you it's going to be easy. It's going to be fast. It's going to be no BS. So like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm going to look good and it's only going to take me 30 seconds. Like, okay, I can try that. So that was a big part, is actually figuring out the messaging. The other was the pandemic and the lockdown, because a lot of our components, being like small pumps, were being used in like hand sanitizer bottles globally. So our components were sold out for a full year. So we couldn't make anything for a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So in that time, we developed some formulas, we worked on our IP and branding and website and things like that. But that was very difficult because we just had to wait until they were in stock. And one day I got an email, hey, we have like 20,000. I was like, order them. Just there's way too many. We can't even handle that. But like, if I don't order all of them right now, they're not going to send me any. So
Right. That is crazy. I
yeah.
didn't even think about that as far as packaging goes, being
Oh yeah.
for, the other stuff.
Yeah, and then another thing is it's physical products. So when I had my software company, like, you make a thing, people in the world can use it a billion times over. You don't make additional things. You make the one app or something and everyone downloads it. It's like every bottle someone uses and you sell, you have to make that. You have to get it in your fulfillment center and you have to ship it to them. So
Mhm.
there's a lot more supply chain and logistics on the back end that, building that to be very resilient, scalable, efficient, economical, like that was challenging. It was not impossible, and we did it pretty well pretty quickly, but it certainly had, you know, ups and downs, places that we didn't like, that we were in, that we took our stuff out of, gave to other places, etc.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Things to consider when going into business.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
What kind of opportunities do you see now? Now that you're like fully in it, what kind of opportunities do you see with men's skincare that is like still untapped?
Well, I see a cultural shift. Again, it's like things are becoming okay. We don't need things to become like everyone's like doing them all the time. This is great. Like, face wash, guys understand that like maybe facial cleansers could be better than bars of soap now. If you're like 35 or under, it's not that weird to think maybe some specialized products could be better. So the culture is changing, and that is a huge opportunity. Um, to basically get there first. There's not a lot of brands that have loyalty in our space. And so if we get
Mhm.
guys now, it's like, some of my friends were using Axe or Old Spice from like high school until 2 years ago, when they turned 30. It's like guys are very brand loyal. So if we're first and we get you, you might be
Right.
with us for 10, 20 years before you even reconsider something else. So the cultural shift makes some of the new products we're going to sell, more acceptable. we're going to do stuff like deodorant and chapstick and eye sticks. Like, yeah, eye sticks, guys don't really use them. They will in 3 years, every guy will have one.
I know
We
that's
all
right.
need them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So who is your target market for Krete?
Well, it's guys with faces, I guess. Um, we've actually kind of had a really good situation where we thought it was going to be 30 to 45-year-olds in cities, and we've actually started doing really well in like suburban and rural areas too, and
Mhm.
even with older guys that are like 50 plus. So
Okay.
like we sell a bunch with some of our ads to guys who are 50 plus in like West Virginia and Mississippi, and some days it's like the most random states in the South. We're like, well, this is a huge surprise. So that was really interesting. So we thought we had an idea. It seems like people just get it. Like
Mhm.
everyone understands, we're on Zoom right now. Everyone's on Instagram, TikTok. Your face is your moneymaker. So it's like it's not that hard of a sell to say, hey, here's the best product and it's no BS. We'll mail it to you and you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of just guys in general. We thought it was gonna be more narrow and it's turning out to be a little more broad.
I like that a lot. I like that. Yeah, men are definitely getting into
Yeah.
skincare as opposed to maybe like even 5 or 6 years ago. It wasn't really a thing, but now you're
No.
slowly and surely starting to see like men, like a whole men's aisle now in Target with
Yeah.
skincare and body care and stuff like that. They're getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of our competitors are, I can speak to quality of products. I do some formulations. I would say ours is far superior. It's like, yeah, they might go into CVS. We're going to stick direct to consumer for a little while because we
Mm.
we like to control the customer experience. We want to
Yeah.
Our customer service is one of our biggest things. When people email us and with a question, we get back to them like the same day.
Mhm.
And so retail is a little interesting because then you start competing on, it's a race to the bottom with pricing. Essentially, you see two similar new brands for guys, you're going to go with the cheaper one. It's like most
Yeah.
people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How were you able to test the market before you launched to see if it was like a good idea?
Well, we built, I developed the products myself to keep, formulator fees, which could be tens of thousands of dollars low. I tested it, so I knew we had a product that was like A plus. And one of the strengths of our company is retention. We don't really have to do much. Customers come back, and that is like, so when we sell one bottle to you, we know you're going to buy 6 over the next year, and you're going to probably, if we launch a second product with an email telling you about it, you'll probably try it.
Yeah.
But products for the ads and the messaging, at the beginning, you spend a little money, you make some ads, you record a guy saying it's helping this problem, you run it to demos, and you spend a month or two going like, we need to find it. And then an
Mhm.
ad hits and you're like, okay, what did it say? And so you gradually do that. We did that with pretty low budgets though, so it's pretty efficient. But we had a general idea and it was close to right of like what messaging, what demographics, and what ad creative would work. And then
Mhm.
you rework with that guy, you get to do 10 more things. Now we're going to be working with kind of micro and nano influencers, and so we're going to give like 200 of them product and say, hey, for your audience, say whatever you want about Crete. And so we're going to track their kind of performance.
Uh-huh.
And if 5 of them are like killing it, okay, those are our new audiences. Let's take their content, make ads, and run it. So that could be girls selling to guys. That could be gamers saying, hey, you're sitting in the chair streaming all day. Who knows? So we're testing a lot of new things, but the answer is have some decent ideas and test them for as
Yeah.
cheap and as fast as possible, and make sure your tests are accurate. And then if something works, test versions within that and kind of keep doing that with as low budgets as you can. And then when you see something that hits, then you go in. Then you
Yeah,
go in big.
I love that advice. Are Facebook ads like still a thing? Is
Oh
that something
yeah,
that's still
Facebook ads
working?
we do for like 40, 45 plus audience. Other than
Okay.
that, it's Instagram. Well, Facebook, Instagram is one ads platform, so like you kind of get
Yeah.
both. You can actually say, hey, run this wherever you think is right, and they will use their billion-dollar algorithms to figure it out. But yeah, it's for the older demographics, it's still pretty solid. We do
Yeah.
a lot of sales on Facebook specifically, more on Instagram, but a lot on actual Facebook, which kind of shocked me at the beginning. I was like, What are we gonna sell on MySpace too or something? But yeah, TikTok is next for us, and we think that's gonna be big, like very
Okay.
big.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. Why do you think that skincare isn't as heavily marketed to men as it is like to women? Like it's like this misconception that men don't really care about their skin as much as
Yeah,
we do.
they do, and they care about how they look. It's a different mentality. And I think that, look, the industry is literally called the beauty industry. I mean, just from that, you can glean like guys were left behind. The
Yeah.
same thing, but opposite happened in the video game industry. That left women and girls behind for decades. They made like first person shooters and other things that were geared to in sports games, but they didn't make games for women. And as soon as they started to do it, they found out that women actually played equally as much. They just liked different specific games. It's the same thing with the skincare industry. It's like, well, if they were speaking to guys in guys' language, telling them how easy it is, not trying to make it about being feminine or masculine, but it's about nothing. It's just
Right.
about looking and feeling good, explaining again, like it's easy to use. Here are some cool ingredients. Here's what you could look like before and after, and keeping it at that. Packaging that's simple. You know, sometimes you get a concealer. It's like has that little fluffy thing that you might apply to. It's called
Yeah.
a doe foot. Never. We'll never include those kinds of things because again, that makes it feel feminine.
Right.
It's about discretion with guys. You know, Hims is a great company. They were selling Viagra and Propecia. They did it with jokes and they did it mailing it to you without anyone knowing. Okay,
Mhm.
well, let's take a page out of their book. Let's mail it to you without anyone knowing. You shouldn't have to feel brave for wearing concealer. No, put it on and nobody knows. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's differences. Are the formulas different? Maybe slightly. You know, we do formulate to make sure that it works for tougher skin. I mean, our products work amazing for women as well. We
Hmm.
just make sure that it works for guys. Like our concealer, it's a matte finish. It's not going to be glossy. Why would I want glossy? I'm trying to hide something.
Right.
So there's considerations within the product development as well. But yeah, it was just that the kind of industry left the guys behind. They didn't really care because they were doing so well with women. And now it's like when they do go back, they think, okay, well, let's use our like rose scented shampoo and just put it in a black bottle and call it like dude hair or whatever. And like,
Yeah.
nope, that doesn't work. It's like A to Z has to be reevaluated to be like not as feminine,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, I agree. Discretion is key. Now that you mentioned product development, because you did mention like mixing up your formulas yourself and everything.
Hmm.
What are your top three tips for successful product development, like nailing it?
Um, the first one is at the end of the day, it has to work. I mean, just anything. If you make a shoe, it has to be comfortable. If you make a shirt, it has to look good when you put it on. If you make skincare, like it has to do the thing it does. If it's a serum, you better be left feeling moisturized, like, or else no one's going to buy it. You know, marketing to me gets the product in your hand or in your customer's hand. Then after that, every repeat purchase, they know what they're buying, you know?
Yeah.
If I see some product on Instagram and I buy it, it's like, well, great, the ad got it in my hand. Oh, this thing sucks. I'm never ordering it again. If you get Crete, the reason why we have retention, great product. So, we went the extra mile. We didn't make a B or a B plus or an A minus. We made a 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, the best product we possibly could make. So
Hmm.
that's number one. Um, yeah, you have to think about the packaging, how the pump, how much it distributes, how nice the box is, embossing, the unboxing experience, how fast you deliver it. It's just you have to remember a person is going to use it.
Hmm.
Um, and then another thing that's really important, especially with something like this, is a concept I like to call like fast wins. Um, when you go to the gym, let's say you're saying I'm going to get in shape on January 1st, right? You go to the gym one day or 2 days, January 1st and January 2nd. You're going to see any results? No. You're going to feel great? No. There's no fast wins, which is why most people give up on those kinds of things. Well, a lot of stuff with skincare, it might take a month to help you reduce fine lines. It might take a month to help reduce eczema or a week or something. Some things like dry skin, it takes 5 minutes. If you put it on,
Hmm.
it fixes it basically. But so we design our products in a way that like the hyaluronic acid, there's a tightening sensation. The concealer you see immediately. You want to give people fast wins so they can get the benefit of your products the first time you use it. With a shirt, you put it on, you look good. There's a fast win.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't have to wait a month for the shirt to look good.
Yeah.
So with things like skincare, health, wellness, things that don't necessarily work right away, you have to try to find a way to make sure that they feel like they do. And, all of our products actually do. So that kind of is a big determination in the formulas as well.
Great tips. Thanks for sharing that. Great tips.
Of course.
For sure.
That honestly, I learned pretty recently, and thankfully we've already been doing some of them. It was more subconscious, but then I kind of was like, why is our CRM working? It's like some of the things guys say is like, well, it takes them a month to see softening, but what got them to commit to doing something new every day for a month? Like, that's a hard thing to get a stranger to use your product. And it was like, so I'd asked a bunch of them and they were like, well, yeah, the first time I put it on blah, the first time I put it on this. And I kept hearing like the first time I tried it, it's like, oh, people need some experience positively the first time they use it. Okay, there you go. There's your fast wins.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned going through sampling different iterations of the product. What was the hardest thing about the product development process for the serum in particular? That what exactly were you looking for? And then you got it.
Yeah, the hardest was the preservatives because there's a bunch of chemistry that I won't go like super into it, that like cationic versus anionic, polar versus non-polar, whatever, that if you mix certain things, they just won't work, or they'll foam, or they'll do crazy stuff. So there were only a couple of preservatives I could use, and some were killing my face. Let's say sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate were some of them. Let's say they say use 1% in your formula. I'd mix 99% water, 1% of that, and I'd just test it. I'd put it on my face. 10 minutes later, irritated, red, it's like killing me. I'm like, well, we're not using that. So I tested a bunch of these like preservatives in their correct usage percentage on myself, and like that physically hurt.
Wow.
I have some pictures, I think they're in our emails, where it's like, I know that our preservatives work and are soft because here's our preservative and here's someone else's. And it's like, this is like red and irritated for 2 days. And so I make the joke that like, we don't do animal testing, but like I technically tested on myself. So, I mean, in that sense, it's like, I don't know if that counts.
Right. Like no animals were harmed, but
I was harmed, but that's it. That's
yeah.
it. I harmed myself, but other than that, we're good.
Oh my gosh. So now it's time for our Never Have I Ever segments. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I have a Never Have I Ever statement for you. If you haven't done this before, just explain the story behind it. And if not, would you recommend that men continue to do this?
Okay.
So the statement I have for you is, never have I ever used my significant other's skincare products. If so, definitely. Like, what was your favorite thing to snag? Hey, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I have something to tell you real quick. Did you know that I created a Patreon? Look, podcasting is fun. I absolutely love it, but it is not cheap. And there have been so many people who have reached out to me that want to support the show somehow and keep the good vibes flowing. So I thought, why not create a Patreon? For as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends of Beauty podcast and join a community of other loyal supporters of the show, just like you, okay? There are other tier levels available that unlock tons of exclusive Patreon-only content, like behind-the-scenes clips, bonus interview content, monthly calls with me, discounts, and so much more. But no matter what tier level you decide to choose, I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to give you a shout out on the podcast when you join. So if you'd like to be a part of the exclusive Patreon community for the Friends of Beauty podcast, I'll leave the link right here and down below in the show notes for you to join. And as always, I appreciate your support so much. Now, let's go ahead and jump back into the episode.
I mean, that's how I discovered NARS, which is a great formula. We took that and improved it a little bit, but their creamy concealer is really, really good. Like theirs and YSL's. Ours is a little better. Those are 9s out of 10s. We made them 10s. So, but yeah, definitely was the concealer. That's how I found the thing to go to Sephora to ask about. You know, there's always the like guys like when they go into like a girlfriend's bathroom and they're like, what is this? Like, okay, it's a clay mask. What do I do? Like that kind of stuff can be fun, but you're not gonna like use that stuff consistently, like toners or retinoids or that stuff. Like, I don't know. I was afraid to use any of that. I didn't know what the heck it was. So the concealer was a big one. And that's also like has been the most taboo for guys. So to use it and not have to buy it is like you feel like you're getting away with something. And so that's easy answer. It's concealer.
That is so funny. I love that it was concealer, because normally the guys are like still in the moisturizer
Yeah,
or
but
the
guys can buy
cleanser.
themselves moisturizers and you can wash your face with it. There is no like other product like concealer that guys may have bought. It's like
Mhm.
guys don't have foundation and they're using that. Guys don't have tinted moisturizer. So, or BB cream or whatever else,
Yeah,
that's the one that they like have never bought themselves. And they're like, can I try? Oh, wow, it works.
I like
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
like that, because I just saw a video. I'm a makeup artist personally, but I just saw
Okay.
a video where a makeup artist had to, and this is gonna be good for you too, but a makeup artist had to touch up a groom because he had gotten into like a fight the night before the wedding. He had a black eye,
Ooh.
so they had to use like, concealer and stuff on
Mm-hmm.
him. So even your concealers would be good for, men like that who just want a little
Yeah.
zhuzhing on their wedding day, or they got into a fight or something like that. They still got to
We're
go to
looking
work.
at some UFC fighting stuff. See, here's the thing about that. That's so masculine. And look, I did martial arts. I used to compete in fighting. I get it. I almost think it's almost too masculine because then we're like, it's so macho, like, and we look like we're hiding something, like we're trying to trick you.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So it's this interesting balance of messaging where we're kind of say like, you don't have to be a fighter to be so masculine. It's okay to use this. You can just be a normal dude.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of balancing messaging with that we might end up doing that anyway because it's funny and fun. But yeah, we've thought about that
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm sure dads get like black eyes from their kids playing sometimes
Ooh,
too. Just
I
being a
look forward to
dad.
that.
So I do want to talk about this active ingredient that you have, because I've never heard of apple stem cell extract. So what
Extract, yeah.
exactly is that? You said you get it from Switzerland, but what
I
exactly
do,
does it
yeah.
do for the
So
skin?
we have to import it. It's really expensive. I'll just it's like $4,300 a kilogram, and it comes in a
Wow.
white powder. And I'm like, I'm importing kilograms of white powder for thousands. It's like, so
Right.
our first email, I think I call myself Scarface because of the nose, and it's a whole joke we make about it. But essentially, I wanted to, when I was developing this, I thought, look, if I can make the best product on earth for this, then it won't matter what price we pick. Once people have tried it, they'll love it
Mhm.
forever. And so no ingredient, no matter what expense. I mean, look, we're not putting gold foil or something ridiculous because that wouldn't work. But I was doing a lot of research. I'm talking about hundreds to thousands of ingredients.
Mhm.
I ordered all of them, for $5 here, whatever, small samples. This place, Miba Labs in Switzerland. Yeah, I ordered some samples. I mixed it in, and it made the serum significantly better. It had a lot of anti-aging properties. It stops free radicals and things like that. It wasn't just a vitamin and nutrient thing. It adds a little extra magic to just the anti-aging process. It
Yeah.
was helping to soften wrinkles, but we did some test runs with and without it, and it just made it better. I mean, look, if it had, I almost wish it had been something else because it's pretty damn expensive. But
Mhm.
yeah, and we use the maximum recommended usage rate because, why wouldn't we again? So again, that's like, not cheap in the bottle, which is why our price point's $39 instead of 30 or
Mhm.
20 or something. It's like, well, we really do import the absolute best stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And I wanted to ask too, what does it mean to build a supply chain?
Yeah. So that means, for instance, when I want to say, okay, we're selling out of our facial serum. What do I need to do? I need to get bottles and pumps. I need to get the plastic seals on them. Those three are from the same distributor, probably. There's a bunch of distributors we use, but those three come from one. Those are the components. I need
Mhm.
labels. I need boxes. Those are from two different printers. I need ingredients, raw materials. Most of them are from one supplier. The apple stem cell extract is from a different one. I need them all to be ordered to the same place around the same time. Then I need the manufacturer to get them, inspect them, formulate, fill, label, bottle, seal, sterilize, all the stuff. Then package it. Then we need to drive that into our fulfillment center where they then take them, and as we get orders, they actually send it. So, at any point in that, there are places where you can be very inefficient or very efficient. Let's say I'm getting my raw materials and everything sent to a place we're manufacturing it in Ohio. We manufacture it in Southern California. But I'm saying, and our fulfillment centers in Texas. It's like, well, then that has to get freighted over. And so there's every single stage you do something. For instance, green tea extract, which is another really powerful ingredient in our formula, that was out. That was sold out from our manufacturer. It came back today. So I bought a year's worth. I bought, I don't know, hundreds of gallons of it today. Like, I got an email saying it's back in stock. I literally pulled over this morning and just on my phone in my car ordered like 200 pounds, 300 pounds, like some crazy amount of it on my phone right then and there, because we couldn't make more. We're selling out soon and we couldn't make more without that one ingredient.
Right.
So it's there's a lot of ways for things to go wrong, but there's also, people don't realize how many individual things need to come together. And that's for one product,
Right.
Now do that for a lot of other products. And now also take one of your shampoo bottles and flip it over and look at it. That's a lot of ingredients. One of them is missing, they can't make it. That specific plastic resin is out at the place they get it from, or an ink, or any one of a million supply chain issues that's anywhere in that manufacturing process. You can't do it.
Right.
So, and things don't turn around in a day. Some of these places will quote you 10 to 20 weeks from the time you place a purchase order to getting it. So yeah, there's a lot of back end management of that kind of stuff. So, because we did a lot of formulating in-house, and so we have leverage over our manufacturers because we own the formulas, we can leave. So they can't charge us over too much. They know that if they take too long, we'll just produce the next batch in-house again and we'll go somewhere else.
Right.
So, it's a lot to balance, but it's, again, like I said, you're making a physical thing, and every order is some physical thing you are mailing to a physical person in the real world. So that's kind of why it takes a while. For us, fulfillment wise, like Amazon gets stuff out the second it is and ships it. A lot of our competitors will take 3 or 4 days once an order comes in to even mail it to you. We try to get it out the same day. And so if you're in Southern California, you place an order at, let's say, Monday at 11 a.m., you might get yours the next day. You might. Worst case is like 2 days. So we're getting it out as fast as Amazon in some cases. And it's like, well, yeah, I have to pay an extra like $1 or $2 to make sure we're getting the smaller boutique fulfillment center that actually works that fast. Because to me, place an order, you get it 2 days later. That's amazing. You're going to love us and come back every time. That's a customer experience thing. So there's a lot that goes into that. It's as much building it so that when things go sideways, you're okay. Because again, green tea extract was out everywhere. Nothing I could do. I called everywhere. No one had it.
Oh my gosh. It's so many moving parts that I did not even consider.
Yeah. And that's to make, like, again, one product. Imagine these places with like 50 products. I mean, Fenty or some of these cosmetics, they have 50 versions of just their concealer. Like, now imagine their entire product line. It might be 1,000 SKUs, 500 SKUs, like individual products. So, we got 2 and we're launching our third. Our third will come with a couple tones, which is a concealer. But yeah, that's why it's hard to build a startup with physical products. Software startups can take off faster because they don't have to do any of the things that I just said. So yeah, there it is, I guess.
Okay. So it's harder to build when you have a physical product.
It is, yeah, just because you physically need to build it and then physically need to get, you need to hand it off to somebody to go ship it across the country to New York or wherever.
You're gonna have to get a robot soon to do all of that stuff.
I'm fine with it. Every time we think like, oh, technology is going to take jobs, it just creates more. People thought the internet was going to take jobs, and now you can do anything you want. It's created more. So I think if robots start delivering stuff, it'll just free up people's time to do other better things.
Yeah, speaking of like kind of like technology, when it comes to marketing, Krete, do you think that you would ever use AI to market your business?
Yes, it depends. I mean, that new chat AI came out pretty recently, like Chat GPT or whatever. It's funny because some of my entrepreneur friends are already using it in work. They're like, I need an email that says this, this, and this, and then they take it and they're just like, so it's actually making it not on the marketing side, but Yeah, on the business side, look, content in about 1 to 5 years, you're going to just type in what you want and you're going to get an image or video. I need an older guy with tattoos with a bald head to apply our body serum. Boom, perfect rendering of that. Right now,
Mhm.
we're setting up photo shoots and stuff. So content is going to be all digitized. It's kind of scary, but it's
Yeah.
like it's pretty great and it's scary like every new bit of technology. That's where I see it being the most practical. Which by the way just completely removes the barrier to like anyone to do anything.
Mhm.
You could start a brand and like ask AI, hey, what's the most efficient way to market this? And maybe
Right.
it'll just tell you, do Snapchat ads on Tuesdays at 3 a.m. It's like, okay. I don't know if there's some sort of algorithm that just knows everything and can make everything. It's like, okay, just ask the right questions and you'll
Yeah.
get the right answers.
Yeah, I
So
asked that because I just saw a YouTube video. I think the title of the video was like how to make $1,000 or how these AI bots or something like that can make you $1,000 a month or something like that. And one of them was exactly what you said with, just typing in whatever description that you want and it generates like this person that can, speak for your brand,
yeah,
advertise your brand.
copywriting, right? Copywriting. Imagine you were just like, if I was just starting Crete and I was like, okay, hey, Chat GPT or whatever it is, and I don't know if they own the licensing to whatever they have, but so you need to make sure you know that. Can you think of taglines for a skincare company for guys that would let them know it's easy and simple and not too feminine? Go,
Yeah.
and maybe it'll just spit out 20 and you're like, all right, 30-second skincare. I like that one, you know?
Mhm.
So it could replace a certain amount. People like to think it won't. It will. I mean, it'll create a lot of things that we now think require the human creativity because it's going to learn from human creativity. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm excited for it. I haven't dove too deep in it. I just because I don't think we're at the place yet where I would use it like I would use it currently for things.
Mm.
You know, we don't really need a lot of new messaging yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Jake, what do you want your legacy to be with creating Crete?
Legacy is an interesting question because it's like I would like this to be a household name because that's cool to me, but I don't necessarily know if I need my name to be known. I'm kind of actually more of a private person. I like walking out. I mean, nobody know who I am. So
Yeah.
I like just appreciate when people are using things that I've made, and especially if they're good and they're enjoying them. So, I want Crete to kind of take over the world and be the go-to brand for guys and eventually women as well for skincare. Just you come to us when you need something that you know is going to work in 30 seconds. And it's like, great, that serum, I put it on. It's the best thing I ever used.
Mhm.
But yeah, as far as like legacy for me, I want people to, not bother me on the street. I want my work to precede me, I guess is how to say it.
Mhm.
That's kind of what it is.
Okay, okay. And what's next for you? Like, when can we expect the concealers to be on the market?
So the concealer I've already ordered inventory. We're trying to get it in before Chinese New Year. So then hopefully if that comes January, I need to then send that to our fillers. We're figuring out which tones because we developed 10 tones and that kind of covers the whole, skin tone spectrum from like very white to very dark and then also undertones.
Mhm.
But as you know, we're not a giant company, so we're trying to figure out if we can launch with 3 or 4 that cover the most people, and then as we kind of build up our customer base and can sell it more effectively, then we start launching the new tones. So, you know, February or March is probably when the concealer comes out. We have about 5 or 6 other products in development that should come out next year. Deodorant, chapstick, SPF, face
Okay.
wash. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but we just launched our second product on Black Friday, and I don't know how I ran this company with one product. We were doing really well, but like the second product is like, oh, you liked that? Get this too, and everybody's getting the second one. We're like, okay, we need like 10 products tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
it's just got to happen.
Yeah, I love that. But slowly but surely you're building on it. It'll come.
Yeah, if you build it brick by brick, but you make sure the bricks are right and then they're secured, then you end up with a road or a house or whatever the metaphor is, but it's actually built well.
Yeah.
So, just make sure that when you're working every day, it's something that when it's built, you don't ever have to go backwards. Our formula is so good, we don't have to revisit it. We're not, I checked, I did all the testing, it's internationally compliant, yada, yada. We're good. I never need to refocus on that.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of my philosophy, is never move backwards.
Absolutely. This has been so great. I have so many other questions for you, but I don't want to hold you too long. I'm going to let you go soon. But before I let you go, I have to ask you the Friends in Beauty rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So whatever comes to your mind first, just like spit it out and you'll be great. So the first one is, what are your top 3 keys to your success so far?
Grit, I would say. There's a lot of not so amazing times in starting a company. You really have to you can quit or you cannot quit. And so I just, even if things are tough, if you don't quit, guess what? Tomorrow will come. The second is probably prioritization. You have to figure out as an entrepreneur what you even need to be working on. And that's something people don't talk about a lot. It's like, I can do anything. We can launch on any platform. I could go to Amazon tomorrow, TikTok tomorrow, Snapchat. I could launch ads on AOL or Twitter or whatever. I need to figure out what we're actually doing and why. And that is something that is, because if you're doing great work, but it's into a direction that's not the right direction, it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. So grit, prioritization / understanding your direction. And then you just have to constantly learn. You have to be open-minded. There are experts, but they only get you so far to listen to. You have to learn a lot. My philosophy is you can only manage something you at least somewhat understand. I learned a little bit about email marketing. Okay, then I can hire an email marketer. I learned a little bit about web development, just enough to be able to manage someone who I hire. So I'm having to listen to audiobooks and things every single day. It's crazy. It's a lot of work, but you can't trust somebody working with you if you have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Second one, how do you measure your success?
My personal success or Krete's success?
Your personal success.
Am I waking up and building something cool and feel like it matters? Then yes. And then also am I balancing that with a enjoyable life where I'm giving back to people and am I staying healthy? Am I getting enough sleep? But the giving back part is important. We have a couple charities that when we get a little bigger, we're gonna want to do some partnerships with. And so for me, it's not just about a bigger company, so have a bigger number on our revenue. It's we can do bigger things and help more people the bigger we are. So there's nice motivations for that.
Okay. What's the best advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that's just always stuck with you?
Yeah, my parents told me this when I was younger. They said that anything that you achieve yourself, you will value so much more than something given to you. So whether that's, if you get an easy A in the class, that feels good. But if you work for it and really get it, I went to a high school where a lot of kids got nice cars, and I didn't get a nice car in high school, but then when I actually could afford my own, it's oh, this is mine. I did this. It feels better when you earn it than when things are given to you. Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to another skincare brand owner or startup who is just struggling right now and they're just considering quitting?
Well, here's one interesting piece of advice. It depends on why they're considering quitting, right? If it's, a lot of people will start up brands and they don't have the time or it's really difficult to understand all the complexities of having a company. It is not for everyone. Now, that doesn't mean to be discouraging. It's just there is no problem with having a job. 99.9% of people on earth have had one. If you need to support a family and you have savings, being an entrepreneur is an incredible risk.
Yeah.
So there is also if you're thinking about quitting, there might be validity to it. Now, if you're thinking about quitting because you have all the opportunities in front of you, it's just hard work. Yeah, that you got to get over. Go through the work, because you can build something and do something that matters. I would say constantly focus on the direction. They say work smarter, not harder, but it's also, a lot of that is make sure that whatever you're doing day to day is not busy work. Make sure it's actually moving the needle.
Right.
If you're spending all your time, let's say, building ads to then run, maybe have an ads person so you can focus on any other part of the business. A lot of the people I hire are people who give me time back to go do other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. What's a resource that has helped you in your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
I mean, it's stupid, but Google and YouTube. I taught myself chemistry and formulated products at a professional level from Google and YouTube, like for free. I Googled how to make a hyaluronic acid serum, and I found a couple DIY people who, their formulas weren't that great, but they got me understanding they had beakers. And I was like, oh, you can just buy beakers? I didn't know you could just buy lab equipment,
Right.
So, that got me a couple steps in, and then oh, wait, they mentioned this place. Oh, I can order my raw materials from here at small scale. Lotion crafters or making cosmetics or formulator sample shop. I'm giving the specifics because someone, I heard it from something. So yeah, again, making cosmetics, lotion crafter or formulator sample shop, or Jedward if you're doing oils.
Okay.
Jedward International. So yeah, Google and YouTube. You need to know what you're Googling, but like those, you can find anything. You can find literally Harvard professors talking about chemistry if you want for free.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there's some, you can do like professional founder courses and stuff, and that helps, but you can get a lot of that stuff for free.
Okay. I love
you just
that.
you need to Google it. I don't know, that's my advice.
Good old fashioned Google.
Yeah.
So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
All right, give me a second to think. That's a hard one.
Yeah, gonna make you think.
It's okay. Hi, I'm Jake, and the key to longevity and success is staying humble, but having an ego about building great things.
I love that. That's so unique. I love that, Jake. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Before you go, share your social media information, how people can stay connected with Krete and, what you're building.
Yeah, so our website is www.krete.club. Can't believe I said the www part, but whatever. So it's Krete, KRETE.CLUB. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, it's all Krete.club. So that's the same stuff. We're launching a lot of influencers in the next month, like probably 50 or 60 of them, all different demographics and stuff. So I hope you guys actually end up, seeing some of those posts, because we're trying to go pretty big, pretty fast. But yeah, we got concealer coming out. We have a hyaluronic acid facial serum and a hyaluronic acid body serum, and they work unbelievably well. It's the first bottle is like $6 instead of $39. So we basically give a trial bottle because we know that once you try it, you're never gonna find something better. So we're not worried about it. We actually lose money on the first bottle, but we don't care because you come back. So
yes, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.